Hello, Thesis Committee. My name is Shanuk Ghosh. I am doing a thesis project on neurofeedback in VR for guided meditation. So I'm using this EEG headset that I'm wearing right now. It's called the Emotive Insight. It has 5 channels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It gives me the EEG data of my brain activity, and I can stream this into VR to change parameters in the virtual environment that is within my game. The reason I think this project is important is because we are facing a mental health crisis in the wake of the pandemic, due to social media and how we use technology nowadays. The pressure on our attention and our mental states is much higher than it was before, which is why there's more of a need to regulate our mental states and more of a need to recalibrate our mind and find ways to do that. I think meditation is a very approachable, very easy practice to pick up, and it really helps a lot of people regulate their minds. And it has been practiced for since ancient times. There's a lot of historical and cultural perspectives on these kind of practices. Um, now, just to clarify, this project that I'm making, the prototype, it's not really a tool that would replace meditation. This is mainly to kind of get people into meditation, get their feet into the water, if you will, and then kind of give an artistic experience, kind of an inspiration of what meditation can be. It explores more of the mind and body relationship through the virtual avatar, through embodiment in VR, and through visualizing the brain waves as the virtual avatar. So that is kind of the main concept that I'm going for. Now, before I go on to the literature review, let's just take a look at the prototype, and let's see. So this is the EEG headset. Once I am connected to the headset, I can calibrate it. I look at the sensor quality that I'm getting. So once I nudge around the electrodes, try to get the best sensor quality, I can connect and see that I'm getting these EEG data over here. I'm not using the raw EEG signals. I'm going to be using the performance metrics, more or less, which is focus, relaxation, stress, and these metrics will help me determine how the meditation is going for the person at that moment, and I can give guidance and audio visual feedback in VR based on that. Now, let's jump into VR. So once I enter VR, I can see the scene where I can connect to the headset. It gives me information about the sensor quality, what kind of EEG data I'm getting. So once I say I'm ready, I can subscribe to EEG. This basically connects Unity and the EEG headset. So I'm getting the data streaming in VR now, and then I introduce the project. So that was the first onboarding, calibrating the EEG headset. After this, I introduce the type of meditation that I'm doing is white light meditation. This is an open eye meditation where you can visualize or you can stare at gaze at some kind of light object. So once you start the meditation, you can see that there is a light in front of you, there is a mirror, and you can see a virtual avatar that you have embodied. The virtual avatar is very wobbly. It has a weird fluid quality to it. This is because the frequency and amplitude of this body, the shader that I'm using, is controlled real time by the EEG signals. So as the person goes through this kind of guided meditation, they'll see that their body is changing, the color of their body is becoming more cooler, and also the wobbliness and the amplitude and frequency of it, the body is kind of becoming more stable, so it becomes more calm. As you can see over here, the body is much more stable now. By this I indicate that the mind and body are more in sync and more stable, and our sense of self has become more clear to us. Our true self is realized kind of when our mind becomes calm. To talk a little bit about how this project is structured. So there are 3 main components. One is the EEG and the brain waves. I obviously look at a lot of neuroscience to kind of guide my decisions. And the second part is virtual therapeutics. So using VR for therapy is becoming much more prevalent. There's a lot of research around how VR can change our perceptions and therefore change unhealthy perceptions about our body. Now, in the literature review, I talk more about the virtual therapeutics, but I wanted to cover the meditation style that I'm using here. There are various meditation styles, and the particular one I'm using here is visualizing light. So this has its own cultural context. It's not a very popular style of meditation. I would say the most popular ones like mindfulness and breathing related and using mantras to kind of uh, focus the mind and at a single point. This one uses light instead. The advantage of this is that I can use this in VR since this is an open eye meditation. You're supposed to stare at the light and merge your awareness with your light gradually using your breath. So as our awareness enters the light more and more, it kind of relaxes us. We imagine that the light is filling our body. Um, this kind of meditation has been practiced, and the references are in many literature, like the Yoga Sutras mention one practice like this, where the light is in your heart and it starts growing. Even in Christianity and Islam, there are prayers of light. There's mentions of the importance and significance of light and our soul. So those are the kind of ideas that I reference. The concept is to connect mind and body and what that means for a sense of self. The reason I do the out of body experience at the end is because I try to drive the point that we are not our body, we are not our mind. Our awareness can be more than that. And to some extent, this has been proven by VR embodiment experiments. You can have out of body experiences through VR, where researchers have kind of done different kinds of illusions to trick your embodiment. So we know that our sense of embodiment, our sense of what our body is quite fluid. It's not totally stuck on this body. This is a fascinating thing, and I think I wanted to explore this as part of what happens in meditation also, because this is something I have experienced in meditation, that I am just not my mind, I'm just not the body, I am something a little more than that. In my ideation process, what I did was I conducted some surveys, I conducted interviews with neuroscientists um, to get more of an understanding of what the brain does in different states of meditation. Now, I wasn't able to use a lot of this because of the limitations of the hardware that I have. Um, I can only get some metrics like focus, relaxation, some of the alpha waves, theta waves, beta waves, these kind of metrics from the software that's already kind of doing the processing for me. But if I had to go deeper into what meditative states do to different parts of the brain, I would need more advanced hardware. But I think for this prototype, that is not necessary unless I go into deeper research. I will not need advanced hardware, and I can use this hardware for just the gamification aspect for now. One of the key concepts I had was wave matter duality. Our brain is constantly changing materially, but also it's generating these electrical signals which are representative of waves. This is kind of reminiscent of quantum physics, where you have the wave and matter duality, and I use this as a conceptualization for visualizing the avatar in VR. Hopefully, I'm hoping this kind of experience will give people an insight into what meditation is, give them more inspiration to practice. I want to showcase this as an artistic experience in galleries. Maybe in the future, once there's more research and I can take this prototype and do some actual research in labs and get some more quantitative data, then I can probably progress this as a therapeutic, but I cannot claim this as a therapeutic until then.